So what's your name?
I'm Linda Loppa.
Linda Loppa sounds Italian, but you're Belgian. Is that part of the Vortex?
Yes, I was Italian in Belgium and Belgian in Italy.
So how happens that your family was in Belgium?
It's a nice story and also a sad story because my grandfather was on the train dying in the First War, and he came in a station in Antwerp, and there was a hospital and they put him there, and my grandmother was a nurse, and they started talking to each other, and after a year they asked him with what nurse he wanted to do the visit of Antwerp, and he chose my grandmother, of course.
Wow.
And later they married in Italy.
Yeah, that is a story. It's one of the stories that we can find in your book. That's
Yes.
why I'm using the word vortex. No?
Yes.
So the book is Life is a Vortex.
Yes, exactly.
What about the book? How was the idea of the book, formed and then developed?
I think it's a little bit your fault, actually, because because we started working on the IFTI conference. We writing and speaking and teaching and talking. All the books were on the floor, and you invented that fantastic slogan, "Momenting the memento," and it inspired me to write. Also, making the book and the catalog inspired me to put things together.
Moments. Yeah. And that was a nice event.
Yes.
And I remember at that time we were talking a lot about how the city should be, how
Yes.
spaces should be. And I also remember we were considering the city from many points of view, like even the sound and the smell of the city. And we both are living in Florence, but actually it's not our birth city.
Exactly.
And we moved there, which is quite common today because cities are becoming like new nations,
Yes,
where people
yes.
decide a new identity. So how the city should be, in your opinion? What about spaces?
Well, whatever the city is, it should have the freedom to do a nice walk, a nice environment, a nice perspective. If you're on the Piazzale Michelangelo, you see that beautiful city there lying on your feet. I think space is for me important. I couldn't live in New York, although there are nice avenues and rich buildings and whatever, but that's not my space. I need to be a little bit overwhelmed by the bigness and the emptiness and the minimalism also. I mean, the city here is so beautiful, it's the setting, And in a beautiful empty space, you can do whatever setting. Also in Santa Croce, there were empty spaces where we could do some things. That's important for me.
I love New York, and I love it because it's so contemporary.
Yeah.
And sometimes I miss it. I miss the contemporary. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the influence of contemporary art on your life, on your way of thinking, and the other way around, like what you can do in those terms. So what's your point in that?
Well, contemporary is in your mind, I guess. It's how you think to the future, how you see the past, and exactly my past is quite layered. And so it doesn't matter where I live for the moment. It's more in my mind to see what the future can bring me as a person and whether I can contribute to the world as a person. And also in the community together, because alone is very lonely, and it's not really. I speak about in my book about loneliness and solitude. It's more about solitude, where you can reflect on your life, on your perspective, on your future ideas you want to develop, and then thanks to that solitude you can bring it to others.
Yeah, solitude is sometimes the condition of a creative person. What characterizes a creative person, because you feel sometimes that all other people cannot understand you, they make you waste time.
Yes.
About creative people, there's a nice close-up in your book when you tell about the meeting with Matthew Barney.
Yes.
This is a good story.
Yes.
So how happened?
That's in the basement of, it was in Kassel. They have that 4-year Biennale art exhibition. And it was another artist who said, go there, there's something strange happening there. So we went in that parking lodge, -1, -2, very empty, deserted. And then we saw a video of a guy climbing in an elevator shaft, you know. We couldn't understand it, and we couldn't, but we felt something really, really strong, and it had an enormous impact physical on our body. I think art should do that. It's not only looking at, but you should have that personal chill on your skin, you know.
Yeah.
And that was happening there. We didn't know Matthew Barney, but later on we followed his work, and of course, now that we go back to that moment, that was strong.
Yeah, those goosebumps that you have
Yes.
when you see something that initially in the beginning might seem a mistake, an error, and then you find a meaning,
Yes.
is, I think, everything. When you consider art, when you consider fashion, when you consider even your life. So where can we find it now?
I think it's important that you have that solitude once in a while, because we are overwhelmed now with new media. Our iPhone is guiding us. They say what we have to do tomorrow and today, and every hour is planned, you know.
I know.
You know, okay.
Yeah.
So that solitude is actually the moment where you start searching for something new.
But can we afford that? I mean, if it's not the phone, they ring the bell. I mean, you cannot stay alone anymore.
Yes, but if we define luxury, maybe that's the luxury we still have. To be alone once in a while and read a book, look at your iPhone, but reflect. Sometimes at the night, you know that also that in the night the
Yeah.
best ideas come for planning something or writing something. Or
Yeah.
inspiration comes at
Yeah,
night.
I'm always working at night. But, you know, there is also something with staying in common then, sharing, you know, common thoughts with others and having a project with others. And I'm referring more to the sense of community, the real one. Maybe something that you had in Antwerp in the beginning.
Exactly, yes. Antwerp was, although we all had our own topics and missions, there was not a common goal that we planned in the beginning. We didn't say, now we are going to conquer the world of fashion. Everybody was working in all domains. I was working in education, in curating with the museum. I did several other things. I had my shop, by the way, but then I closed in 91. But we were all together. A moment that education, and probably that's also important, society changed, education changed. A cycle of 30 years of education of Antwerp was finished. And I came there as a teacher, and suddenly everything changed as well. I put Comme des Garçons on the wall, the posters, and they said also, those designers said also, now it's our moment, and something came out without ever have it planned it, you know.
As a visionary person, what do you think is the next change?
Well, the next change is really not using the past anymore. I think only using what you think is the future. And past is not really helpful for the moment.
It's a kind of burden sometimes.
It's a burden. It doesn't bring anything new to society.
And what the future must be?
The future must be so innovative, because we have so many more ways to express ourselves and to communicate. We have a new society built. We have so many people around us. Thanks to that iPhone, I use it really very well every minute, like everybody else. So we are very informed, and then we have that kind of moment where we can go deeper in what we found on our iPhone to translate it to the future idea. But the past is not helpful. We can't use it anymore.
We are always referring also in this moment to the word moment.
Yes. Yes.
Because maybe it's the only escape to the evolution that you have, you know, from past and present and future, which is triggering our mind but also burning it sometimes. And what is the moment? Well, how do you define the moment?
Well, it's that actually sparkle when you get an idea. And I think other people find that in you when you can transmit your idea. And that's also interesting that people can capture it and translate it with you, because alone you can't do it. So when you have a good idea and a good moment and a good strategy, or you say by elimination, by what you don't want.
Yeah.
And there is some little sparkle that remains, and you go for that little sparkle, then you have a good moment.
Yeah, so that is also one of the topics we are always asked as educators, which is, you know, the common question we receive is, how can you inspire people? I mean, can inspiration be taught somehow? So maybe what you told now is a methodology for inspiration.
Yes, I think education is a conversation between people. It's not knowledge that is now decided from A to Z and there you go for. It's a conversation because everything is new. And it's a moment to have strong and deep conversations with young people.
But can we really have a conversation with a person today?
Yes, I believe that.
For me, the best way to have a conversation is having dinner with people.
Yes, with a glass of wine.
Yeah, more than wine, and more than one. You know, and then writing on paper what we think, because we need to fix it. You know, we need to put it there, otherwise 5 minutes later the phone again is coming and you forget about everything. So writing in the end of that meeting is very important.
Yeah.
What is the meaning of the word? Why words are important?
I think that honesty is important. And if you write something in 3 words, like Giorgio did, life is a killer, it says thousands of words written in a big book. Synthesizing your idea in a few slogans is so fantastic.
Yeah, life is a killer because since the day you are born, the only destiny possible is to die. So often. And he passed away. So this is another question I want to pose to you, because it has a lot to do with the society, which is our field of research. So many icons are dying, passing away. Continuously, you have it in fashion, you have it in art, you have it in music. But maybe it's me, but still I don't see any replacement. I mean, I don't see any new icon coming out. What's happening?
Well, you have young people who have 10 million followers on internet. Maybe they're the new icons.
Yeah, but they are very fast. I mean, the way they grow is also the way they fall down all of a sudden and another one is popping up.
Well, everything goes faster than before, but if you listen to Giorgio, his interview in Interview magazine, I was reading it now, because I suddenly understood why he is in my book. On the first pages, he's there. Yeah. And I had always the impression, why is he there? I couldn't find an answer. I wanted to take him out, then he put him back. Many times. And last week when he died, I suddenly knew why I put him in.
To let him stay?
Well, when I saw that exhibition in Paris and those words and the whole interpretation of his life finally was a revelation to me, although I didn't know him. But something passed through. Yeah. Probably the words, the slogans, the multidisciplinarity of his life, working with artists, with performers. He performed himself, the poetry, the whole thing. But I didn't know him before. And that exhibition opened something like, I was making my diagrams also.
That was the next question, you know, because it's also about the relation between ethics and aesthetics. I mean, words contain a meaning, so it's ethics, but also the way you write. And I know you like calligraphy and you like to write by hand. So it's also about aesthetics.
Yes. No, I don't write by hand anymore. I went to art school, and so I did the design of the model, the naked model, and so I'm educated through the art school, and that gives me always that possibility to think broader probably than one domain where you do probably philosophy.
Like this?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It is so nice to write now. I'm so inspired to write and to make these diagrams. There is a bit poetry in it. Opens a whole new world. I would never have thought I would do that one.
Yeah, you know, because you have, on paper, you have space, and the space is the time you can spend alone, actually. Space and time are always related. So this gives you, you know, the space for your mind to come with other ideas, new thoughts, and it's a conversation with yourself. Yeah, but unfortunately, new generations are reading less and less, at least. They are reading less of books and more of technology, you know? I mean, they use their phones and they read quickly, but they don't stay 1 week on a book. So what's the reason for writing a book today?
But that's a book that is not written as a book with a beginning and an end. So you take a page and you read it, you put it back in your library.
No beginning and no end. Let's see what is the end here. Your pictures. Where were these pictures taken?
I took it in, you know, for your passport. You go in and you put €1 and you put it in and you have that picture.
Yeah, so also easy, fast pictures can be art in the end.
Well, I put it in because maybe sometimes the book looks like something serious, and that was a kind of let it go, it's only a book.
Well, it's all black.
Of course it's all black.
What's the meaning of black?
Why should it not be black?
This is another question we are always posed. Why are we dressing all black? What is the meaning of black?
But it's very essential, conceptual, minimalistic. You go to the essence of life, the essence of reading, the essence of...
And minimalism is what you said before. First of all, say what you don't like, and you will find yourself with what you find.
Yes. It's also physical. If you're not a perfect body, you have to hide a bit your body here and there. I mean, if you're tall to 1 meter, your model, you can wear a lot. So black is also useful to dress.
Are you a shy person?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You too.
Me too. A lot, actually. But not in conversations.
No. But there is another role. You have a role as a private person, and when you're timid and you're a private person and you are sitting here on this chair, sometimes it's a kind of challenge to overcome your timidity.
What is your next project?
I'm writing on Fashion Must Be. I'm writing also on different things that come to my mind, and I feel I get it more easy. It's really nice to do. I'm curating for the moment also on a new project. I can't tell it yet what it will be for next June. A difficult one, but I like challenges.
Curation, this is another topic. If you have to curate, who is sick?
Well, the world is sick. I mean, if you see it on a positive way, you could say good, the world is sick, so we can do something new, and we have to innovate, and we have to find new solutions. Also, curating is a word that is a bit tired. So with all the new media we have today, with internet, with all the iPhone and the smartphones and all the media, we can do much more than before. So I would never put a garment on a mannequin anymore. There is so much methodology and technology. So I'm motivated by the difficulty of the space they are giving me, and the way I'm going to work on it.
I think new media have something negative because they produce a lot of aggressiveness, but they also have something positive because since we have this new media, people are also expressing their concerns and their commitment on
Yes.
what is wrong in the society, in the environment, in ourselves in the end. So what is wrong? What are we doing wrong?
I'm enjoying all the new media and all the technology. I think it's a wonderful moment in the history of mankind. But of course, if you see that we are only 5% of the whole superficial earth and the rest is green, and we are destroying all that green and we are not really taking care, well, we do a lot wrong. I mean, and it's time to think about solutions and doing it better. And we're not alone, we can't do this alone. Okay, you have your small things at home that you do, but that's not enough, of course.
I have a personal idea, but in this moment I'm interviewing, so you say, what is the solution then?
Well, the solution is planting a tree, that's already one thing, and then looking at all the possible things we do wrong and adjusting the world.
It's not about us, I mean, not about me anymore, and I think you are fed up as well, but what is fashion doing wrong?
Fashion is doing everything wrong. Huh? I mean, from the cotton you plant and you give them too much water to what we throw in the garbage can because we don't wear it anymore. So the whole chain is wrong. And we have to take care from the 1.1 till the end and look at everything we do wrong and adjusting everything. That's one thing. Secondly, there is too much. If you see the haute couture shows, it's like 600 silhouettes of haute couture in July, costing a fortune. And what's the following? It's only for branding, for selling bags and shoes. So there, I think we have to adjust the fashion system, yes.
So fast fashion, no, because it's too much production and consumption. Haute couture is just for showing. So what is the right fashion?
Fast fashion is not really wrong if it's made with good fabrics and good, because we are more people on the globe. So every year less people die, more people live. So you have to find solutions, and also people are richer, they have more economic growth and want to buy fashion. So I don't have anything wrong with fast fashion, but maybe the scale of all those low to high is a bit out of balance.
Is your life fast or slow?
My life is fast because I'm excited for the moment. I'm stimulated, so I live fast. At home, I'm slowing down, but not really in my mind.
So this could be also a way, you know, to keep calm physically, but running fast with the mind.
Well, everybody does yoga now. I mean, it's very
I'm
trendy.
not,
And I'm not really able to do that because...
I'm not that.
No, me neither. I can't do it. It's against my nature. And I think it's more an internal thing that you have to slow down and to bring more quality to the world, maybe.
I want to ask you one last thing, which is to write a word on our background.
Okay, let's do that.